and we are live on Instagram and YouTube. Here's a question for you. Do you know what's coming in and what's going out of your business? Hey y'all, thanks so much for joining me. In less than 15 minutes, I'll be sharing with you why you should know the answer to that question. Please like and share this video if you get value from it. And I'm Dr. P. I'm a strategic business coach with Priscilla Kuser Consulting Solutions. And I've been a school psychologist and special education administrator, sat on professional organization committees, and I've taught online graduate psychology courses at the master's level. So I have participated in several different types of organizations where that question was crucial. I mean, it really was a critical question because being a part of a professional organization, we needed to know where money was coming from and what we were spending money on. And most of the time in professional organizations, if you are a member of them or if you sit on the committees for them, you know that most of the time that money coming in comes from memberships and it comes from sponsors, right? So you got to have an idea of how much money is coming in. And if it's sponsors, you already know how much money that is. But membership, as you know, can come and go. 1 minute you can have high enrollment with membership. Next minute your numbers are down. So you really have to learn how to budget for those flows, right? So that's why I really wanted to mention, as a small business owner, understanding the money coming in and the money going out is important for you, right? It's important. It's the lifeline of your business. So understanding why that's important, that's what I want to be talking about today. When I was working in the school district, especially as a special education administrator, we really needed to know how much money, was being allocated to the budget, right? And as a special education administrator, had to know when really money was coming from federal, to be distributed to our school, how much money you were getting for each student. And if you didn't know this, every student does give a school district X amount of money, right? So really understanding 6 stages, really understanding the importance of knowing when that money came in was a huge thing we had to know. Because even when you're waiting for money, and I'm sure if you, based on how your small business is set up, you might be in this situation where even when you're waiting for money, there's still expenses you have to take care of, right? And in our case, we still had staff we had to pay, resources, materials we had to actually purchase while you were still waiting for that money to come in. And it's the same thing with being a small business owner. You really have to understand, when money is coming in and what you have to be spending money on while you're waiting for that money to come in. It really is this balance that we have to learn how to do as small business owners. If we want our businesses to survive, we really have to learn how to balance it. For me, I work really closely as a special education administrator with our CFO. I mean, we were talking to each other every day because there were certain things we had to make sure that we were accounting for. And also contingency planning was also a big part of it, because should something happen and money didn't come in when we thought it would come in, then you had to actually allocate for that. So really knowing your budget is crucial. As a small business owner, we have to know our budget. We really do. So in those previous experiences, it really taught me that importance of knowing when money is coming in and knowing when money is going out. So you need to know what's coming in and what's going out. Definitely need to know these things. But funny thing, when I started my business, kind of forgot about how important it was to even track all of those things. So when I started, I remember signing up for courses and some workshops here and there. Then, purchase a computer program, an application after doing a free trial, and it was working out. So, okay, that was good. So I'm doing this paid subscription, paid for a website host, spending money on ads. And did you notice something missing from what I said I was doing? I was doing a lot of spending, but did you hear me talk about paying attention to what was coming in? Because I'm sure you can relate to this. When you're starting out, or even now, depending on how long you've been in your business, there probably are times when you are just spending without really realizing how much money you are actually bringing in. Because it's a funny thing, but a lot of us don't keep track of how much money we're spending. Some of us don't even pay attention to what we're spending our money on. And in some cases, we could be doubling up on services spent, paying two different service providers for the same thing, and we're not realizing it. That's why sitting down and looking at what's coming in, what's going out really, really helps. So when I remembered the importance of tracking, definitely changed a lot of things. And it really improved on how I was tracking my own cash flow for my business. And regardless of if you are a small business owner or independent consultant, you still need to know your cash flow. And by that, I mean this. If you haven't picked up on it as I've been talking, is you need to know what's coming in and what's going out, hence the flow. Did you know that 82% of small businesses in the US fail to make it to the end of their first year because of cash flow issues? If you've made it past your first year, congrats, kudos to you. But I want to see you keep making it for more years to come. So you really got to pay attention to that cash flow. Yes, you made it out of your first year, but you have to pay attention to that cash flow. And there's some tips I'm going to be sharing with you as we go on, because that cash flow is vital for the survival of your business. It's having that plan, that strategy for your cash flow. 17% of small businesses in the US fail because they don't have a business model. And if you have not already done your business plan, then I suggest that you start working on it. If you have already done your business plan, then you understand what the cash flow has to do with having your business model. And then knowing how that model, you can use it to develop your action plan and implement your goals so you can reach your cash flow, goals and ambitions. So having a budget is a big part of managing your cash flow. And when you work with a budget, you are in a much better position to have a positive cash flow. And EasyBooks defines a positive cash flow as more money is coming into the business than going out. And don't we all want that? We all want to have more money coming in than we have going out, because there's nothing like seeing red in that bank account or on that account statement, right? We want to have more money coming in than going out. We want to be in a positive cash flow. So as small business owners, as solo entrepreneurs, solo practitioners, micro business owners, independent business consultants, we want to be aiming for that, having that positive cash flow. And yes, when we're starting out, it's tough. It's so damn tough, to be in that positive, because there are tons of things that you have to be doing when you're now starting out. But you are setting yourself up for your success. So yes, in the beginning, there's going to be a lot of things you spend money on, but once you spend money on these things the first time around, there's some expenses that are not going to be recurring, but then there are others that are. So in my previous experiences, we worked with budgets in our professional organizations and in the school system. And that really helped, because it helped us to really make better decisions. Another reason why cash flow is important is it does help you with when it comes time to value your business. And I'm talking about a valuation, knowing how much your business is worth. So that really helps should you ever need to provide any type of documentation on how much your business is worth. Because I spoke to somebody recently and they were looking at refinancing and they needed to know how much their business was worth. So you have to know how much is coming in and how much is going out. And because they were in that position to have that information readily available, it helped them out tremendously with taking that next step with the refinance. And for some others, if you don't have that information, that can make the decision between you being able to refinance and not being able to refinance. So here's a question for you. Do you know what your expenses are each month? Just think about it. Maybe give a ballpark. Do you know what those expenses are and how much they cost you? If not, I suggest you better get on it, because you have to know this as the business owner. You have to have an idea of how much money you are spending each month and what you are spending that money on. Because for a business to be successful, it needs to have sufficient cash available. When you get to that point of not having sufficient cash available, not having any options for borrowing money, you might be facing closing your business. And we don't want you to get to that point. So really take some time to learn where you're spending your money. So this means getting an idea of what your regular cash expenses are each month, and having that recorded, because that's another thing. I've spoken with some business owners and they kind of have an idea of how much money or where they're spending their money each month. But when they look at their books, they're not recording it. So that's important. We have to be tracking, how, money is going out, not just thinking about it, but actually having it there available that we can pull it up and look at it. So we're making sure that every expense is being accounted for. Plus, you should know how much money you're bringing in each month with all your customer sales, wherever else you get your revenue from, right? Because I know everybody's business is structured differently. You might have different sources of how you get revenue into your business, right? So knowing where those sources are coming from and tracking it, not just knowing it, but also tracking it, puts you in a much better position of knowing what your cash flow, what's coming in and what's going out. Oh, and by the way, another plus of doing this exercise of really understanding your expenses and where you're getting your money from is you're going to get to see your most expensive items, the things you spend the most money on. And like I mentioned earlier, you might actually realize, hey, why am I paying these two people? Because they kind of give me the same service. So which one's more beneficial? And there you actually start to be saving money because you're seeing that you're spending money in more than one place. Now you realize, hey, if I get rid of one of those, I still get the service my business needs, but without the added expense. So isn't that awesome? You get to save some money. And another big positive of knowing your cash flow, the ins and the outs, is you get to see some opportunities. And by that, I mean, looking at what's coming in and what's going out, you might be able to see how you can generate more money for your business based on what's coming in and compare that to what's coming out so that you can stay aware in the positive for your cash flow. You're going to start to look at your business so differently when you have a better idea of what your cash flow is all about. Knowing your cash flow also puts you in a better position to manage your debt. Yes, I know lots of us, we have loans, and that's what's helping us fund our businesses till we get to a particular financial point, So knowing your cash flow helps you with managing that debt. And it also helps you with scaling your business. Doesn't matter what size you're currently at right now, it helps with scaling your business. And scaling your business, I'm not talking about you taking your business from being one person to being 50. If that's what you want to do, that's fine, right? If that's the goal you got. But I'm talking about making sure your revenue is more than your cost. That's what I mean by scaling. So when you're sitting down and you're looking at the in, what's coming in, and when you're looking at what's going out, it helps you to be in a position to make better decisions. Because remember, I mentioned opportunities earlier. So there could be some opportunities for increasing your revenue once you're looking at your cash flow and then using that to make better decisions about how you're going to increase your overall revenue while keeping your costs down. So there are tons of benefits, as you can see, of having your cash flow understood, being able to sit down and really see what on earth is happening to that bloodline of your business so that you can survive and be successful and be profitable. That's what you want. You want to be able to know how much money is coming in every month and how much money is going out. So here are two ways for you to improve your understanding of your cash flow. The first one is my favorite. The thing I focus on is planning, having a plan for your business, and then having a contingency plan as well. So I'm talking about having that strategic plan, yes, a business plan, yes, and also a contingency plan for your business, because all of those things are connected to your cash flow. That's the first one. So planning, right? The second one is organization goes a long way. So get organized, get all your ducks in a row, as they say, make sure you have a way of accounting for all the many ways you're spending money and all the ways money is coming in. And if you need to get help with getting organized and with planning, consider working with a business coach and an accountant, because that type of duo can help you out. Yes, you're probably saying, oh my gosh, she's giving me another expense to add on. But think of it this way. If you're completely lost with how to even manage all of this cash flow stuff, wouldn't it make sense to reach out to people who can help you get a better understanding of what you need to do so that you can improve your skills in understanding your cash flow for your business so that you can be successful? You don't always have to stay with a business coach. It could be temporary just to get you to where you need to be, but definitely you need that accountant on your side. So I want you to be in a much better position to be profitable, to be successful. So go and get on it. Get started on working on understanding your cash flow, what's coming in and what's coming out, so you could be in a better position to make better decisions, profitable decisions for your business. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Dr. Priscilla Kuser with Priscilla Kuser Consulting Solutions. Remember, solutions plus actions equals results. Bye.